All right, we're live. Hi, Maree. I'm excited for today. How are you?
Oh, hi, Lisa. Yes, I am too. So, hi, everyone.
Thank you so much, everyone, for being here today. Before we get started with the amazing topic of Antarctica, which, by the way, I did put the videos for Ancient Aliens. This is going to be season 11, episode 1, and season 14, episode 1. So in those two episodes, they talk about Antarctica. And I wanted to ask Maree. Maree sent me a video yesterday about the flooding in where she is. And I wanted to maybe throw some cards about this because I'm wondering if it's something that is, let's see, maybe weather modification or something like that. So I wanted to, okay, here we go. So let me share so you can see. Share screen. Okay. Here we go. And Maree, let me know if you cannot hear it. Okay. Raise your hand if you can't hear it.
Oh, no, I can hear it now. Yep.
Huh?
Yep, I can hear it. It's good.
So we've decided to call it a day, folks. Here's my wingman.
See if we can.
Fast forward a little bit. There we go.
There it is.
All the roofs here completely submerged. See a power line. It's going to come underneath this power line here. Loads of debris floating around everywhere. And did get quite a few people to safety. Benny got a whole bunch of people out of the North Coast factory over to dry land.
So this is what's happening right now in like 2 hours from Maree.
Yeah, literally. I think we got a lot of weather, rain over the last sort of 4 days, but we were sort of lucky it didn't flood. I live on a canal and everything, and that didn't flood. But I've friends up on the Sunshine Coast, which is 2 hours north, completely flooded out. They've shown me videos, their whole backyard, cars underwater. But the worst one hit was that place called Lismore, which is about 2 hours south of me. And it's like everything just burst its banks. Like you could see the houses. It was up over the roofs. They were having to duck to get under power lines. People were stuck on roofs. People had to come in with angle grinders and cut people out of roofs that had gone into the top of their house. And so the helicopters have been flying in and out. So it's been pretty horrific down there. And it's been such interesting rain because it's not normally, it's cyclonic and it comes through, it's fast, and yes, you get flooding, but it's gone. This just persisted.
Nice.
And it was dead straight. It just came down dead straight. And I know there's been a lot of stuff going on in the air here for quite a while. We've all been noticing it more so lately. But it's been very traumatic for a lot of people. I mean, I'm very blessed. I was sort of kept out of it. But what it made me do, and I was talking to Elisa about this, was it actually made me go deeper into myself and actually go, well, what's going on here? So at first I'm like, yes, it's all geoengineering. It's all this and that. Oh, my God. I went, hang on a minute. Everything that I see, everything that I experience in life, I've created at some level. So it's almost like I went in deeper again. And what I realized was that I've created this. There's something within me, within that global consciousness as well. There's some sort of split. There's some, dissociation. So I actually have done work with that. And I mean, I've held my space and just sent love, but it really did bring me into a deeper place of taking responsibility for my world that I live in. And it even took me to the place where I go, well, I can't even really have this anger so much towards, all of our politicians and everything that's going on, because that's also an aspect of me. So sort of going into that deeper responsibility level, and it was actually a nice feeling when I dropped into it. It was like, oh, it's like this weight lifted off me. It's like an aspect of me came back together even more so. So, I mean, even though it's been very devastating for a lot of people, there's always something amazing that you can take out from it personally, is what I find. So yeah, but do you want me
So
to pull
yeah,
some cards?
let's see if it's weather modification.
Yeah.
Let's see it.
Well, Will. And Jazzy says hi to everyone. We don't forget
Oh,
our little friend Jazzy.
Jazzy.
Yeah, he's going, don't you
Yeah.
dare forget me. So, all right, let's
Yeah.
have a look and see if there was some involvement with external things that made this happen, not a natural weather pattern.
Right.
Yeah. So,
And
okay.
as I was telling you also, that I believe that it's happening also in Australia, because Australia right now is so locked down and they're suffering so much that they have brought this upon themselves, right? It's almost like it reflects how they feel, right? It's like heavy feeling of feeling like under control. And this is exactly what this is. It's like this water is controlling them, right? So so go ahead. What did you find?
Yeah, so so it's again, it's the Two of Wands. So it's holding the earth in its hand, but there's a split. So because there's the two, it's trying to find a balance. So just what you were saying then to me is really relevant, because it's an emotional aspect. Water is emotional. So but yeah, and I feel like it's a combination. So when the when our Nine of Wands come up, it's like everyone's been going through such a struggle. That something's come in really quickly. Well, it set something up. So this is like action against with our Knight of Swords. So yeah, I feel that there was. However, I feel again, like we talked about, Ten of Wands coming into completion. It's what's been going on with for people here emotionally, as well. So what goes on inside is on the outside as well. So whether it was modified, which it looks like it was, it actually brings a huge release, which at the end of the day brings through more strength. And like, even just for me, that beautiful subtle shift internally has actually brought this about for me as well personally. So, and of course people are more impacted that are really hit by it, that, have lost everything.
Yeah.
But it felt like we'd sort of lost a lot of things anyway.
Yeah.
So I feel, there was definitely, but again, it was showing me that it was created first from within our psyche.
Right. So we create the emotion and the collection of that energy, but something has to prompt it to happen, whether it's Gaia or whether it's weather modification or whatever, right?
Yeah. So exactly. And so the weather modification in its own way is just expressing and showing us what's going on. So yeah, I know it's crazy way to look at things. Like if we're used to going, oh, it's their fault, they shouldn't have done that, that's really evil.
Yeah.
It sort of brings it back to a whole nother level. So, and then the Six of Swords, which is mind and words. So it's actually moving out of water. Interesting. It's a boat on water, but it's actually moving away from troubled waters into something, a bit better. So look, there's learning in everything.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So not a surprise, right? That, again, we're manifesting this type of thing. No. So, okay, so let's go with Antarctica. And I like this question. It's not a question, but I like this idea. So I want to ask this first. Antarctica, did it used to be a paradise island?
Okay. I'll just tell you something though. It's I had a reading done by this incredible person back in November, and the first thing that he said to me was, he said you had a lifetime where you were pre-Adamic, which means it was before Adam and Eve's time. So, and he said it was under the snow in Antarctica, and I said, oh, was that behind the wall? And he said it was behind the wall under the snow, but it was warm. It was like it had the dodo birds. It had all of that beautiful tropical aspect. And I'm actually getting goosebumps as I'm saying this. But it more than likely was in a whole nother dimension. So let's have a look.
Were you human or were you something else?
He said it was almost shamanic, that priestess energy, all of us sort of with that. And I was a leader.
Maybe it was a fourth dimensional Earth at that time.
Yeah.
Or even fifth.
Even fifth. I'm getting higher, so we can ask that as well. But so definitely there was an aspect. Oh, that one's jumping out. Okay, aspect of a paradise island. and yeah, interdimensional, definitely, with how he was talking about it and what I was seeing, because I was actually I get the images as well, which sort of shows me how it worked. So let's have a look.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So it was so just from what I felt when he was telling me that, I think the Andromedan's question, yeah, could be definitely. So the first card that came up is our Ten of Swords. So this is the past. So it would have probably been taken out, like that energy level would have been taken out. And the Three of Wands, which is looking to the future and letting go of the past. So it would have changed. And now when this Seven of Cups comes up, to me it says there's all different aspects to it. So there's more than just a paradise island. There's all different aspects to this area now that maybe weren't like that in that time. So yeah, so there could be a paradise island there. There's a few other things though as well.
So what was shocking for me was that they said the ice cap is 3 miles long, 2 to 3 miles long. Did you realize that
So
it was that deep in there, the ice?
Yeah, no.
I was like, what? And that's why we're going to find out if this is true, that they're able to build these cities in there because it's 3 miles long, the ice.
Yeah. Let's have a look. I'm just pulling up some cards now on that. Let's get that one. That one's quite interesting. So the first one is Temperance, and the Temperance card can be a changing of location, a changing of dimension, a whole perspective. And then we've got our Four of Pentacles, which is setting up a foundation. So it could very well be that deep. However, the Queen of Pentacles has come up. So to me, this is contemplating what we're creating, creating from a feminine aspect. So it could even be deep, like the cities and things, to me, could be deeper than that. So there could be layers within it. So that Temperance card especially tells me that there could actually be layers within it. And Jasper's going, yes.
Yeah,
So,
and I also have to tell you, my intuition kind of tells me the same thing.
Okay.
As
Good.
well.
Yes.
Because I feel that Middle Earth is not in the ice. Middle Earth is more as in within the actual structure of Earth, right? The mountains, and not ice. That's something that can melt. If you know what I mean.
Middle Earth is, to me, when I've connected in with Middle Earth, it's very interdimensional. So it's almost like you go through a portal, a gateway to go into Middle Earth.
Yeah.
So but like you say, it's not down in the ice.
So let's find out are we able to find out what dimension, when it was actual paradise?
Yeah.
What kind of dimension are we talking about there?
Okay. Let's have a look. One. Wow. Well, the Four of Swords has come up, so it could very well have been fourth dimension, like you said.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, so you're right. And then the Eight of Cups, so something would move, something changed.
Okay.
Now, this is interesting, though, because the Empress card has come up. Now, to me, this is the creator, mother, beauty, joy, the divine aspect of feminine. So it's almost like there were higher dimensional realms within there as well. So probably the whole scale of experiencing dimensions was within that aspect.
Yeah, there was pyramid structures there. So the question was it part of that ancient civilization, those pyramid structures? And was this the first pyramid on planet Earth?
Interesting you say that, because I just remembered the same guy that did my reading. He said there were pyramids in Antarctica, and he said they're actually now, it was part of South Africa. And he said, if you look up the round pyramids of South Africa, which I haven't done yet, he said that will actually give you a clue as to what went on down there. So that's something we could all have a look at. That only just came back to me then when you said that. So
yeah, they
interesting.
show
So,
it on the show. They do show the actual, like just the top of the pyramid. Of course, it's full of ice and whatever, but
yeah.
I don't know if it was CGI, I don't know.
Oh, okay. So you want to know if that was truth, if that, if that particular scene they showed was truth? Is
Well,
that what
no,
you
I mean, that's okay. Not necessarily. I would assume it has to be under the ice, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah.
But was that the first pyramid
Okay.
on planet Earth?
Let's have a look and see. Okay, that one. So the Queen of Swords has come up first. So to me, this is thinking about something, describing something, and creating it. But whether it was or not, because the Five of Cups has come up. So whether they tried it, like there was something there, but then it's almost, I'm seeing it's almost like there was something else being built at the same time. So there was definitely pyramids there, but it's like they took what they knew and it was moved to another area, because that Chariot is all about movement
Right.
and
Yeah.
shifting. So it was definitely thought of, but I feel there was other ones almost coming through at the same time. Is that making sense? It's
I'm getting that it's probably the yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so you're right. So the Empress is come up again. So yes, there was more being created at around the same time. So it wasn't necessarily the first one. It might have been one of the first ones, but there was more than one being created.
All right. All right. That's
What
good.
was your feeling on it, Elisa?
I got that it was the pyramids of Egypt, but then I was like, I don't know, because I know that the pyramids of Egypt were not the first pyramids here. I know that there's the Bosnian pyramids. Really, there's Guatemala has pyramids.
Yeah.
So,
and they may have come from another area that we now calls, like a name of a country. They could have been
a different,
shifted from that. Yeah. So because that's what I'm getting again. I'm getting the Temperance card, which is shifting and moving, the Death card, which is transitioning through, and then the King of Wands, which is the Master of Spirituality. So I'm still getting that there was a few that were happening at the same time with the technology. So within those dimensions, yeah.
Okay, very cool. So the Andromedan is asking if there's an arc in Antarctica.
Ooh. Andromedan's on fire today. Let's find out.
I forgot to put you here on the big screen. Here we go.
Okay.
So they can see the cards better.
Okay. Interesting. And that one. Wow. I'm getting there was. Okay, so we've got our 9 of wands. So there was. But again, now if you remember from our show we did on the
Ark of the Covenant,
it moved, because both the two cards that came up next was the King of Wands and the Queen of Wands.
Oh, geez.
So now remember, the wands are spiritual. That's our, and the King and Queen together, dynamic force, balance. They would have taken it out of there. So there, it looks like there was, but there was,
but no longer.
But
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Very good. And then Jim's question. Hey, Jim. Are those bad people there and his question still in control, working with the other bad guys that we know about?
Okay. Let's have a look and see. Let's see what's going on down there in that situation. Okay. Okay. Wow. So the Strength cards come up straight away. So to me, it feels like, and the Ace of Pentacles. So it's like they were working together, because then we've got the Fool. So it's like they were working together very much, but it's shifted and changed. and it's sort of gone into another level. So yeah, not still in control, because this one tells me that they've dropped off a cliff, literally. so
I surely hope so.
yeah. So you know, I mean, you know, from the stories we've heard, we know that they did head down that way, and you know, have some alliances with certain things, but not now is what I'm getting. I'll pull a clarifying card on that too.
Okay.
Nah, look at that, beautiful. The Chariot moved on, so it's
Moved
definitely
on.
shifted,
Okay.
which is great.
Okay. Very good. Oh, I like this question, Wolf Love. Everybody giving good questions today. Does Maree or the cards get that there are healing waters in Antarctica?
Wow. All right. Let's just see. Wow. Actually, when Wolf Love asked that, I immediately got an image of a beautiful waterfall coming down and crystals and things under it. So that's interesting that that's come through. Let's just check with our cards and see what comes in for us. Yeah. So interesting. So the first card's the Tower. So obviously something happened for some healing to be needed. So to me, there's always something that goes on, and then something gets found, because there's always a solution to a problem or a question.
It's a video game.
It's a video game. That's right. So you got to push the right button to get in there. Then the Page of Cups. Now the cups are emotions, remember, and water, but it's being offered a gift. So I'd say that they're actually, look at the water in the background there. That's really standing out. So there's definitely a gift, and then the Death card. So the gift is to help.
Taken away, right? Or
yeah,
no?
or yeah, and also too, but it was used. I feel at the time when there were beings there, that it was used to help with transitioning. So whether it was through a spiritual transition, whether it was through a physical transition, it could be used in many ways. But yeah, it's not at the moment, of course, everything's been hidden from us, but I don't feel it's going to be too long before a lot of this stuff comes through for us. And
why don't we
water.
look at that? Let's look and see when we will see it.
Okay, let's have a look
when
and see.
When will we have availability to this
frame.
Amazing?
Okay. Yeah. So Jasper's piped in. I'll do the cards and then I'll tell you what his little messages were. Okay. All right, so the first one is King of Swords. So King of Swords, again, is mastering our words and thoughts. So when people are ready to be able to accept that, I feel some other things have to happen first, because we've got our Two of Pentacles, which is always making decisions, trying to find the right balance. So I feel once all of the truth comes out around big pharma, how, you know, our health is not being really looked after, then people will start going, well, what can we use? What is there? And then the Seven of Swords, which is strategy. So these things will, I feel, come through and be slowly implemented. Look, and I'll go for a time. I'll look if we can get a time. But as you know, things go on situations more than timelines. So Page of Wands. So not too far away, because it's the Page of Wands. So that to me is as people learn spiritually and grow with consciousness, it won't be too far away. There's no actual time frame on it. It's surrender. So it's like it's just going to be a part of the aspect of it. The Hanged Man is the surrendering card. Yeah, and Jasper was showing me, he said sometimes because that energetic water, it's not just in that area, it could come out through somewhere there's more accessible to people, like someone that's got a consciousness could come across a spring, you know, that hasn't been opened in the ground, and all of a sudden this water comes out and they can see or work with the benefits of it and then start getting it out to people like a product. So that could be one way of introducing it as well. And then when Antarctica does open up eventually, they can go, oh, wow, we've got that same water down here. So I feel that's what Jasper was showing me, how it was going to actually be exposed.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Thanks, Jazz.
Okay. And thank you, Wolf Love, for
good question, Wolf Love.
The question. Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic. Okay. So moving on with the questions from Season 14, Episode 1. are there secret bases underneath
Okay, let's see.
the ice?
Underneath the ice, yeah.
Yeah.
Like cities and things like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That one. Okay. Well, we've got the High Priestess. So, yes, there's mystery. So there's definitely something mysterious. It's that feminine card is feminine masculine balance coming through. You can see the yin and the yang. So, yes, I would say that's definitely, it's been hidden. And when we've got our 5 of Pentacles, this is something great that's not gone on. It's like there's maybe a history of some real hardships or things that have happened down there.
Mm-hmm.
And then Temperance. So again, I love it when this card comes up quite frequently during a session because, again, it's saying something shifted though. There's been a shift. There's been a change in either the situation or the perspective or what's actually happening there.
Good.
So, yeah.
Okay.
There
Okay.
is.
Okay. Very good. So another thing I had seen, this is not from that episode, but I had seen that there was a thought, or somebody had seen that there's like a gigantic UFO that literally is the size of Antarctica underneath it. So
wow.
that I was like, well, I'll write that question to see if that's also something that's so underneath the ice.
Okay. I'll ask that one first, and then there's a few more things we can expand on that from what I've seen and what I've actually researched as well around it. Oh, okay. You want to come out? Yeah. Yeah. So first one we've got is our 7 of Pentacles. So yes, there's something being planted there. There's definitely something that's been there for a long time, because the 7 is it's planting something for it to happen. So, and then we've got our Queen of Swords. So this is the creation through words and thoughts, and then the Fool. So again, it's something that we wouldn't expect. It's a jumping off the cliff. It's a new beginning. It's a new way forward. So I feel that there has been, a massive thing there, but whether it's still there or not, that's what I want to check on.
Yeah.
Is whether that's actually still there or not. I don't feel that same UFO is actually there, because this is the 9 of Wands, and it means that something's happened. It's like they've nearly completed whatever it is that they needed to do down there. So so I feel it's not the same as maybe what it was, because my understanding as well is of both the poles, or both Antarctica and Arctic Circle, is where UFOs come in and out through portals. That's actually one of the main arenas where they actually can come in and out. So
yes, and they actually show either a picture or a Photoshop of like what the hole looks like, in there. So I believe that's the hole that Admiral Byrd went in through in there. So so was there a battle or war when Admiral Byrd went with a flotilla of ships? So supposedly what they tell you in this episode is that there actually was a war there.
Wow. Okay.
Around taking over that space, right? That entire space. So so let's see if it's true that there actually was a war there.
Okay. Around the time we're talking about with Admiral Byrd, or at any time?
No, Admiral Byrd.
With Admiral Byrd.
Was there a war when Admiral Byrd went with a flotilla of ships?
Okay. Oh. Something went down, because we've got the Hierophant card, which is a leader. It's someone that's also spiritually connected, I always feel with the Hierophant, or someone that has a position of power. So, and then we've got Ace of Cups. So to me, if there was something that went down, and it really affected people a lot. It was pretty big. So there would have been something that went on, and there was a lot.
For us,
Yeah.
for the U.S., we got killed over there.
Oh, okay. So yeah, and there was quite a few people involved in it. So there was actually quite a lot of what can I say? To me, this is people. So there was a lot of people that were involved in that maybe didn't, wasn't good for them.
Yeah. Okay. So that actually did happen. So did the Germans win that war?
Let's have a look and see.
Because it was said, basically, the way they explained it is like the ones they were fighting against had lasers that literally cut their ships in half with the lasers. So I'm not sure if those bad guys were Germans or the reptilians. So I don't know how to ask the question.
Okay. Let's ask if they were working together, shall we? See if there was the N word and if there was reptilians working together. Let's just find that out.
Okay, so the Germans, we can say Germans.
Yeah.
The Germans and the reptilians working
together, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there was definitely really unique aspects of it. So something that's really unique, very powerful. And then we had the Temperance card again. So it was like something was moved. So something shifted, something changed. It was something that they weren't actually used to. So it was something new for them. And then that Chariot's come up again. So it's all about movement, and I'm getting the word technology. So definitely there was something that was unforeseen, that was technology that was being worked with. And let me have a look and see if they were actually working together. It's interesting because it's not coming up that they were actually.
That they were. Okay.
No. Okay. Interesting. So yeah, King of Wands, Four of Pentacles, and then the Ten of Swords. So
then that war then was it? Let's ask if the war then was against reptilians, because I would think the Germans wouldn't have the ability at that time, but.
Yeah, I feel it was definitely, because we've got our Lovers card. So there was definitely something going on, but maybe it's not reptilians as how we see them, because again, we've got our Eight of Pentacles, which is something that's been built slowly. So it could have been the shapeshifters. It could have been, something that looked human as well. And then our King of Wands. So, so it was almost like not what we were thinking that the reptilians are. So they could have passed more as human.
Okay.
But had the technology and had the connection in.
Okay, so could it have been the Germans then with the right technology?
Yeah.
Because I know that technology had been given to them. So
yeah. Yep. Again, we've got the Empress and the Four of Swords. So something was mysterious, was actually given to them that was mysterious, that hadn't been known about. And then the Fool. So it was almost like going into this whole new way of doing things, and that normal humans would never have seen before. So they definitely had technology.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So do you feel then that it was the Germans?
Yeah. As I said, I'm not getting that it was. So they're being offered something. So there was they're being offered something and they wanted more. But I don't feel, and this again is that Two of Cups is about building relationships, building something together. But it doesn't. What I'm not getting is that it was actually reptilians per se. It was like they were extraterrestrials, but they were more human. They could be human.
Oh, the Killy Tokert.
Yeah. I don't know,
it's the Killy Tokert.
Oh, okay. So King of Pentacles, yes. So that to me is that master of creating. So they could create whatever they needed or wanted to be. They were like shapeshifters.
Okay. So it wasn't the Germans and it wasn't the reptilians. Okay.
So yeah. So no, the Germans were a part of it. The Germans were a part of it. They had a relationship with this. But it's not the reptilians we're thinking is what I'm getting.
Well, the Kilitoker are human looking, and they're bad guys, but they have black. The entire eye is black. There is no white or a pupil. It's just an entire black eye.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So that's what I'm feeling. It's not like, the reptilians that you think of like that. It seemed it was coming through as being more human. So yeah. So actually, the Andromedan has a question which I thought is really good. Is who gave the technology?
I just saw it.
Going to put that up there, and I was going, "Oh, that's really." So who gave the technology to the Germans? Yeah, so we can ask that. Ooh, interesting. So we've got again the Four of Cups has come up because it's the same thing we were just talking about. So they've been offered something, they wanted more, but they actually got given something that was hadn't been Wheel of Fortune. So it really benefited them because that's what they desired. So whether we're good or bad, we can still create whatever we want in our life. So it would have come to me. It would have come from the moon, which is that darker aspect. So that lower vibration ETs that we were talking about. I'd say it's come through from something that's definitely not on our realm. It's come through interdimensionally with them. Yeah.
Okay. Very good. Hi, Leanne. Let's see. So the other question was, the mentioning of the Stargate. I don't. Let's see. What was Wolf Love saying?
Yep.
I'm trying to look for. Okay, I don't see Wolf Love's statement, but
okay.
Yeah.
Stargate, yeah, definitely is. I'll ask the cards, but that's absolutely what I've felt, seen, and researched. Is that there's a Stargate portal, whatever you want to call it. There. So we'll just pull these ones out. First one is our Knight of Pentacles. So this means it's been there for a long time. It means it's solid. It's well known. You can see the pentacle here. It's been created. There was a bit of an issue at one stage. There's a Nine of Wands again. So something went down around it. So whether it then was
the
misused,
access, probably.
The access misused, and then the Chariot. So it's definitely been for movement. But something's changed as well. I feel when the Chariot comes up, it's like something has changed.
Could it be the ley lines moved when the poles shifted?
Oh, okay. It's a good question. Let's find out.
Not the ley lines, the grid lines? No, the ley lines.
Grid
the
lines.
Same as the grid line. Is it?
Grid lines. Yeah, ley lines, grid lines, energetic lines, whatever way you want to call it.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm actually feeling, because again, a mystery thing. Yeah. I'm also seeing Jasper's showing me that there was almost a war around for the Stargate is what he's showing me. And so I'll actually, first one is the High Priestess. Again, it's that something's hidden. There's a mystery, but it's definitely going on. And then we have this Five of Wands, which is a struggle and a change. So something went down, but it didn't go on for long, because then we've got our King of Wands. So this is the Master of Spirituality. So it feels like it was actually taken over, or it's being worked now, monitored now with much better energy. And look at the energy with the shift of the poles and the grid lines on the earth. Our energy has increased frequency incredibly. So that would allow then that help to come through to work with Stargates as well. It's all a part of our interdimensional dimension. Definitely. So the Hierophants come back through, which is that being that has power, usually spiritual, and can command things. So I would say, that there's a Stargate, and now it's being managed, because Jasper keeps showing me it's being managed now by a different, it's monitored is probably a good word.
Oh, okay.
So who can come in and out is monitored.
Very good. Very good. So it's in the hands of the good guys.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. And the Lion was asking, this is something that we're going to cover in our next Beyond Quantum Tarot, which is, can we communicate with inner Earth people? Are they good entities, or do they not like us? So that's going to be on Friday.
Okay.
So watch out for that video on Friday.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about inner Earth then. Okay, so moving on with more questions from season Ancient Aliens, season 14, episode 1. So there are some structures on the surface that are very ET looking. So they're not like, I feel like they're not underneath, but they're on the surface actually. And so this one person was told to go get something from this place. And this place was totally like that dark mirror looking like glass that ETs use and stuff like, and as soon as he walked in, it was like this hall and it was all lighted up but without lights somehow, and it was just very technological place. So I know on the surface that the military, that the US military has a base, and I believe other bases are there too from other countries. So I'm wondering if the I don't know if good or bad ETs have also set up camp on the surface so anybody can see them.
So yeah, on the surface at this place in Antarctica. That's
on
what
the
they're
ice
saying.
on top. Yeah.
Okay. So we'll look and see. Yeah. So look, the first card I pulled was actually the Page of Swords. Now this is about learning, words, thoughts. So whether they're there to study, so whether they've set up a base, which is our Four of Pentacles, they've set up a foundation there, and it can be anyone. So the Wheel of Fortune is it can come from all different areas. So absolutely, it feels like it could be. There could be scientists.
They're
could
learning
be
from each other
military,
or whatever.
Whatever. Yeah, there's definitely more than one group of people there from that.
Okay, awesome. The next question, we're moving on to season 11, episode 1. How long has it been under ice? Is it since the Great Floods?
Right. So you mean the base or the
Antarctica? How long has it been under ice?
Okay. Let's have a look and see if we can get an understanding of that. Because when you have dimensions involved as well, that's when timing gets tricky, remember? So we'll just see if we can get an idea.
Can we say in the third dimension, how long has it been under ice in the third dimension? In the third dimension.
Wow. Okay, so there we go. That one definitely wants to come out. Oh, yeah. Okay, this is making sense. So I'll just get the third card to give us a good story with it. So, yeah. So the first card that's come up is the Seven of Cups. Now, to me, this one is always tricky. So it's like a lot of things happened at the same time for it to be formed. Wow. And it's almost like there was a shift. It's like it's been there, but then it actually got to be more because there was a massive shift. Something happened that was not conducive to maybe how it was set up. So it's like it moved. It moved from what it was to what it is now, and it was an ice age type situation.
Because they couldn't explain the way that it happened from the time Admiral Byrd was there to the time that this cartographer had drawn. And so what happened was this cartographer, 1700s maybe, had drawn Antarctica. And when he drew it in the 1700s, it was impossible for him with the technology we had back then to know that there were mountain ranges here and there was a river here and there was, the way he drew it, he knew exactly where things were. So what they did is with our technology, they did a 3D scaler of Antarctica and exactly where he said the mountains were and exactly where he said the rivers were and the lakes. It was perfect. So They were saying, how is it
Wow.
possible that in 200 years you have 3 miles of ice? Something happened there.
Yeah.
Something happened.
Magician cards come up. Also, what was coming through was that the mud floods. You know how I said it felt like an ice age or something happened.
Mm-hmm.
So there was that big shift with the mud floods and the melting of all the buildings and the. So there was a massive change on Earth, and it would have been about that within that time frame, because they say, remember, with Tartaria and all of that, they say around the beginning of the 1800s, they have got photos, and there's cities. These cities are beautiful, like what we've got today, but there was no people. So there was, and a lot of those buildings that we know have melted. They're actually up at the windows, which we now call doors. It's fascinating. So the history, we've been lied to a lot about history. And to me, I was seeing like an ice age or a shift of something. And that could be very well what it was, because they've had like a huge wipeout, like a mud out in that time frame from just before what we call the 1800s.
Interesting.
So yeah, so that's what I was. Look at that death card transition. So something happened that actually shifted it to create that in that time frame. Again, we've got a Chariot, the movement. There was something that moved that actually caused this and created this. And the Hanged Man, so which is surrender, letting go of everything. So huge, just releasing of everything that was, known virtually.
Wow.
So that's what was coming through. So
okay. So was it organically done by Gaia, or was this man-made, or not man-made, because man couldn't have done it, so it had to be ET made somehow?
Remember, we're in a video game, and so they were looking to the future and going, well, what's going to happen in our future? This is what we've experienced. Do we need to change it up? Does it need to be changed? And again, there's that surrender and that letting go and that completely allowing something to come through. And it's actually something that is the Nine of Cups, so it's something that was wished for. So maybe we'd done that video game level and it was like, maybe we created it, Elisa. Like I said, we have to take responsibility for everything that's happened. So at some level, that great creator, that oneness, it was something that was desired for a reason. Whether, who knows, whether it was just to experience it, whether something had finished.
Okay, but is there any way to find out if it was done? How was it done? Organically, naturally, or by something or someone?
So you're talking, was it for good or evil, your sort of thing, or no? Okay, no, I feel it was done organically. It was a decision that was made that then moved everything on. But it was deliberately done organically. And again, we've got that Three of Cups coming up. So there was a celebration with it at some level. Like, this is perfect. This is what we need to move to. So the creator, however you want to explain that, for some reason, set up a whole new foundation, a whole new way of being.
So you feel it's like coming from the creator more than just like ETs came along and created the flood, or like when I was thinking like the weather modification that we have now, right? Since they're doing it to us, I'm sure they could do it back then. So that's kind of where I was going with it, but it sounds like it was not.
It almost feels to me like it was a hand of God. Like, you know how, like, and it could be done in floods, and it could be done with this and this and this, and who knows, maybe they did use all of that to do it, but because okay,
very good.
Ace of Pentacles, so that's definitely been created for a particular reason. Yes.
Okay, did creation start with that island according to the hieroglyphics that are in Egypt? So according to the hieroglyphics in Egypt, that was the first landmass in the earth, on the earth.
Antarctica.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's just see if that's...
I mean, it doesn't ring true for me, but...
look, we've got the Emperor. So to me, the Emperor is the ruler over all. And then the Two of Wands. So I feel like things were created in more balance than that. It's there wasn't one specific
Right.
place. Yeah. And then the Nine of Cups, which is again wishes and dreams. What do we want to experience? What is it we want? So I feel it's done with more balance and more overall, what's the word? Moderating. It was done very much overseen to make it so it was much more balanced than that.
Okay. Okay, very good. Why is the military not allowing people to go there?
Oh, that's a good question. So sorry, that one just jumped out again. So it's just confirming what we've just said. It's nice to get confirmations sometimes.
Yes.
So okay, so let's have a look. Why are the military not allowing? Okay. Now, I guess the thing is as well, we have to realize that sometimes the military are used as pawns by other groups. So they might not be the ones saying don't come here. It could be something else that has been saying that. Let's have a look and see.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. Yes. It's I feel it's a lot more complicated than that. Is that sense I'm getting? Yeah. So Five of Swords is the first one up. So it's like a word game or a word fight or a mind fight. So it's change and it's actually done with words. So I feel it's been definitely manipulated. And then we've got our Lovers card. So there's some relationship, there's some sort of a deal that's been made so that it's actually held and kept secret. And I mean, the Queen of Wands has come up. So this is spiritual. This is something that can be created through the feminine. So I feel it's actually just been hiding stuff from us for their nefarious for their purposes. So here we've got our Eight of Pentacles. So this is creating something, they're working on something, and it's been going on for a while. So there's stuff going on there that to me it's a mystery. So it's just not meant to go there. So yeah, they're deliberately doing that because of what is down there and what has been down there.
Yeah.
So it's just been hidden. And you know, why would they stop planes from even flying over if there's nobody there supposedly or nothing there? Why wouldn't planes be able to fly over?
Yeah. Exactly. Absolutely. So something interesting they mentioned too is that the ice caps are only melting in some areas, but in others, the ice is actually extending.
Wow.
So what is causing the melting of the ice in one side and not the other?
That's interesting, isn't it? Let's have a look and
Yeah.
see what we can get with that. I'll tune in with Jasper as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Okay. So something's happened. So we've had so the Three of Swords has come up again, which is really deep change. Really, it's something that's not great or it doesn't feel good. So it's almost like we've had this shifting that's happened has on the earth between, you know, with the grid lines, with the poles, has changed the aspect of it. So, you know, what's been created, this is the King of Pentacles. So this is creating something from our change. And to me, it's Jasper's actually showing me how it's almost like an ice age that we're going through. That was the thought I had when the Ace of Swords came up. So we're actually going into an ice age more than anything else. And an aspect of it is melting because it's shifted. And so therefore it's actually getting more warmth, more heat on that side. And it's extending on the other side. So it's definitely been created through a shift and a change. And some people are quite afraid of that change.
Yeah,
me,
because
it's
what
all
they're,
just-
they're
yeah.
you know they're using that as an excuse for global warming, right? What they do is they go to the side that's melting. They don't show you the side that's growing, right? So they show you the side
Exactly.
that's melting and going global warming, right? And
Yeah. Whereas in actual fact, it's showing that there's more ice. I'm seeing there's more of the ice growing than there is melting. The
yes,
sides
that's
are bigger.
exactly what they said. That is
Oh, okay.
exactly what they said. They said that
Yeah.
ice is growing faster than it's melting.
Okay. See, I haven't watched this series again. Remember, that was Jasper just sort of giving me an expanded image as well of what
Yeah.
was going on. So
Yep.
that's good to know. Okay.
Yep. Yeah. And Wolf Love, we already asked that question if Antarctica had been liberated from the baddies, and the answer was yes.
Yeah.
So we asked that earlier in the show. Here's is there such a thing as the kingdom of Avalon?
Avalon. Okay. So okay, when we talk about Avalon, are we talking about like King Arthur and the sword and the, Lady of the Lake and all of that? Is that the mystical place that the Andromedan's asking about, I'm presuming? So that's what I can presume.
I don't know. As far as I know, beyond Antarctica is Middle Earth. So I don't know.
That's it. So it's actually another dimension. So the Ace of Cups is that beautiful emotional, but it's confirming, there's something that's was of a higher frequency, of a more love-based place, because just, the Lady of the Lake and all of those beautiful aspects, they actually felt like that was truth, that went on. So, yeah. And, as far as I'm concerned, they still exist today within interdimensionally. So, yeah. So whether it's beyond Antarctica or just like interdimensionally going into a whole nother realm. So, yeah. I mean, Middle Earth to me, I sort of see it as we'll talk about this on Friday as well again, but it's a whole nother dimension. And yes, it can be within Earth, but some people say Earth's flat, some people say it's round. What if it's a combination? What if it's like, we're living maybe on that flat aspect, but it's got this beautiful frequency and dimensions that can only be seen maybe by certain people. So
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. There was another question. Something about Pangaea. Is it just a part of Pangaea? Do you know what Pangaea is?
No. What's Pangaea?
I don't remember. I think it was the
How do you spell it?
I think Pangaea was when all the continents were together.
So it was so is it a part of that? Is that what the question was? Where's the question?
Yeah. Pangaea. Yeah, that's what it is, when all of them were together before they broke apart.
Okay. So I've just pulled cards as you were asking that anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there was, and that was a time of, it looks like celebration of like a lot more joy, and then the moon. So something happened. So, came in and bit got changed up.
Okay, very good. So we are here. We're done for today. We're at 58 minutes.
Wow.
So I checked my schedule, and I do have a session Friday night, so we will have to do it Thursday.
Perfect for me.
Yeah,
Actually
Thursday
works
night.
for me.
Yeah. So we hope to see you there. We're talking about the new Earth. Please bring your questions. I have some questions, but I don't have a lot. So please help me out by bringing some questions. And also, I will go ahead and the next, the Reality Check Tarot, we will talk about the next item on the list on the poll that I did to see what's the next thing that people want to talk about. So thank you for being here. Thank you for your wonderful questions. I love them. They were fantastic as always. So it's always such a pleasure to have you guys here, help us with thinking of things in a different way. So that's why it's live is always better. So I love you guys. Thank you for being here. And Jasper says goodbye. Maree says goodbye.
Bye. He loves it too because he gets to have a chat and show us what he sees.
Awesome. So we'll see you guys on Thursday. And might be 7 p.m. Eastern, but we'll see. I'm going to make sure that there's nothing conflicting. If I find there is conflicting videos, then I will move it to 6. So see you then.